what else like what else are things that are like in Louisa's world? Like uh, from your place, when people enter space and time with you, what's different about the spaces that you create or the ways that you have conversations or the way that things are than anywhere else in this world?
Yeah, I'll answer that two ways because these are the two, it came to me twofold as you were talking. One is how I view it, and another is how others have shared with me I show up. And time again, people say, you're like a breath of fresh air. You're like a reset. You're like this, you like reset and bring me back to me, back to square one, back to home plate from wherever they were. Um, and then for myself, it slipped away. Ask me the question one more time, Niyama, please.
What is different when people are in your world than any other place in the world?
Mm, I have a ways to go on this, but I think I'm proud of how I show up on this today. And maybe that's part of why I'm able to show up this way is that, for lack of a better word, like there's never this I'm there place with this. Like I'm always wanting to lean more into it and explore and expand. And that is compassion. Um, I have an intention to be a person that anyone could sit across from and share and know that they can share anything and I will hold it in a compassionate way. Um, slash unconditional love. And I'll tell you what I mean by that because that can be really amorphous. And it feels edgy to share this because I don't know that I've shared it with anyone other than my shaman. Um, you know when the video of George Floyd back in May came out, I'm sure everyone, okay, you know, um, I hesitated to watch the video for a while. I knew what had gone on. You saw clips. And there was a day where I sat down and I said, why don't I want to watch it? I don't want to watch it because it's going to hurt. And I was like, okay, in that moment in time, I wanted to be a part of the meaningful change that was necessary from everybody to not right the wrong, but to bring greater awareness to our collective species in service of more love and compassion. I was like, I've got to watch the video. And it was really hard to watch the 7, 8 minutes. And I cried it even as I think of it now. I'm moved. And my heart went out so deeply to George Floyd. And then something else happened. And this is the unconditional love piece. My heart stirred for him and I felt the pain. I was like almost like catching my own breath. And then I looked at the officer who had his knee on his neck. And I had this moment of compassion for him. And I don't know that a lot of people, at least no one that I've talked to has it. I'm like, I wanted to give him a hug and go, what happened in your life that compelled you to think that doing that to another soul is what this moment needed? Right? Not hate, not anger, just compassion for what healing does he need. And that's the second piece. That's who I be.
Feel my body is really being like resonating with it. I'm feeling a lot in this moment right here.
Mm.
I'm feeling gratitude for you for your capacity to be in unconditional love and to be a stand, be a model for what that looks like. To and there's a clue in this here. I think we need to let's stay down the unconditional love element, but there's a clue in this here where you said there's no one else that you've had this conversation like that has felt this way. If we're talking about 1 in 7 billion, this is it. This is it. Your capacity for unconditional love is something that is tremendous. When there are people around the world experiencing the same experience, and you have this place where you yourself are like, what healing does this person need? What brought them to this place, and to actually have that love there, that to me stands out as something that is absolutely just tremendous. And before going on, I just want to just like call that out. Be in the space of unconditional love, like um, when you talk about that, there's work that's been for me. There's something around anger that shows up a lot, and when I experience anger, uh, people don't really realize this, but there's like they see joy. They're like, how can you be angry, so angry, and yet you're like you're bringing this energy to it. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know
Mm.
that you can bring joy to an anger with anger. I didn't know it could be expressed that way. And there's something about what you're talking about here with the unconditional love that just feels like not only is it your like a part of your superpower, but it's like it's it is part of the world that you see. Like I get a sense that like I want to enter Luisa's world and be in Luisa's world because if she has that much compassion, if that's what unconditional love can look like, if she can find even in that moment a way to love that person there, that is one of the most unique spaces that I feel it can exist right now. That's one of the places where I feel that if we're really talking about how do we come together, how do we elevate the consciousness of humanity, so on and so forth, that level of unconditional love is something that I'm thinking right now. I spend a lot of time with a lot of coaches, as you know. Like I know there's still a lot of people in my life, and I can't think of any other space that really has that level of unconditional love here. And I really I want to call that out and just slow down on that element in particular, rather than going off and there's something that's really special about what that is. And I thank you for sharing that with us here. I thank you for sharing it because you've also expanded even my own there's space here that wasn't there within me, the space within me that wasn't there
Mm.
before. And to be able to have access to another way of looking at things, another way of being with things. And I find myself incredibly curious around like what would it be like to be in a space with Louisa where whatever like that kind of love can actually be practiced. Because I don't think you find that I don't think you find it often outside of like your family, a place where unconditional love lives. like
Mhm.
that doesn't happen all that often. So I wanted to slow down with that one in particular. Take a breath on it, and I want to just check in with you. What's coming up for you now that you've shared this? What's coming up as I'm slowing down with it here? Um, take me. Let's just recommune.
Yeah. Um, Feeling very tender-hearted. Kind of like I'm holding back. Um, just a lot of energy in the form of tears. And, you know, as you were sharing about the opening for yourself and how unique that shows up to you, what I'm sitting here going, and it sparked when you said, when you literally repeated back to me that I hadn't shared this with anyone else, is that the thing that is the most unique and special about me, I'm not talking about it. And I talk a lot on social media, and I talk to a lot of clients, and I talk to a lot of people. You know me, I love to talk. And yet that's hidden today. So that was interesting, because I said it, but it wasn't until I heard it from you, I was like, damn, this is the first time. I mean, this was back May, so it hasn't been like that long, but May, June, July, August, September, 4 months. And it's not like that was the first time I saw it. I've had thoughts like that before about other individuals. And yet it's in this little box that I'm just going to stay with the analogy that I'm creating. When I do this, it's sort of like I have to keep it hidden, to keep it safe, to keep it, you know, like I'm even what I'm doing, I'm kind of like bringing it into my body and doing this. And that doesn't mean that automatically this is what I need to do, but that noticing is really powerful for me, that there is this protection of it that at the same time is also what might be my biggest gift on this earth.
Yeah. Louisa, thank you for this. I recognize the tenderness there. I'm going to go to Brandy soon to give you some space with this here, but I do want to just like leave you with a question around this here, which is you were talking about it right here, and it was great in this moment to look at it as something that's external, right? But then there's also an element of like it is you too.
Mm.
So in protecting it, it leads me to believe that you're also protecting yourself, right? And I want to like leave some space on that around like the element of like what if there are other it's within you that are also being protected, and the place that like once I go to Brandy, I will look to the places of to give you even more, because the thing about unconditional love is that it is still not all of you, but it is something that is you like and
Mm-hmm.
it is it's so called for right now because we don't know how to be it, we don't know how to be with it. So I'm gonna invite you to spend some time being in the tender heart of it all. You may not need to leave there, and if you do, um, I would invite you to look at what are other parts of it, what are other it's that you're protecting, because those might also be other clues and indications of other places that are just so you that need to come out or can come out. Right? We're just getting started. Click on the link below to watch the full conversation and go to niyamaashawn.com/tribe to get additional resources and exclusive invitation to tribe only events. Journey on.